Welcome back to Cal Lutheran's student news publication, The Echo. This is our bi-weekly podcast, and this is Caroline Eason, the editor-in-chief, speaking. On February 2nd and February 3rd, the Office of Educational Effectiveness and Student Affairs conducted a Title IX review with an external Title IX reviewer. Olivia, the Echo reporter covering this review, is here to tell us more. What is Title IX?
According to Chris Paul, Title IX is a federal law that prohibits sex discrimination in educational programs and activities and was enacted in 1972.
How has Title IX impacted/aided campus since being passed?
Tewo Andy had said that it is very critical for a program like Title IX to be passed on campus because there are so many individuals in the community that truly need to be protected because they are minorities or they're exposed to the potential by being marginalized by the result of their gender or sexual orientation. He also said that their voices are not always heard. So what Title IX does is actually bring them up to know that they are truly being protected. And since being passed, Title IX has impacted faculty, staff, and students, and also survivors of Title IX cases.
Why was there a review of Title IX conducted this past week?
Chris Paul had said that there is no mandate for a Title IX review. However, when the federal government releases new regulations, we must augment our policy to be in compliance with new regulations and California state law. Tewo Andy had also said that the reviews are periodical, and there is not a timeline for them.
What are the administration and those involved hoping to learn from this review?
Chris Paul had said, "We are hoping this review will reveal ways we can improve upon our strong commitment to equity. There are many perspectives on Title IX, and it is important to hear from everyone."
What are the next steps after the review?
After the review, Tewo Andy had said that the report will be reviewed consisting of the external reviewer's recommendations, weaknesses in the program, Cal Lutheran's efforts to provide education and training opportunities for everyone, as well as Cal Lutheran's strengths. Once the review team consisting of administrators and staff is done, they will share the report and take the recommendations to the president to hopefully be enacted this fall.
Is there anything else listeners should be aware of?
Something to be aware of for listeners is that students aren't always the primary individuals in Title IX cases. Dr. Elizabeth Chainer had said, though students are perceived to be the primary individuals involved in Title IX cases, that's not always the case. The first Title IX lawsuit was actually faculty looking at inequities within the faculty ranks. So this is why the reviews were done and interviews with faculty, staff, and students all across Cal Lutheran and not just a group of students, because everyone is involved in some way and everyone can be affected either positively or negatively by this review and Title IX in general.
For the past few months, Cal Lutheran's Pearson Library has been undergoing renovations and construction. Isabella is here to tell us more about the library's refurbishment and more information about how it came to be. What prompted the refurbishment of Pearson Library and the ITS offices?
According to Nick Boudreau, who is Cal Lutheran Facilities and Infrastructure Project Manager, the ITS offices were very outdated and needed improvements. The need for new ceiling, floor, lights, and furniture prompted those refurbishments. During the same time, they noticed problems in the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. These refurbishments were prompted because of gas leaks that they found, and also because they were so old, as Boudreau explained. He said that there are currently 4 units that run throughout the entire library, and he called them energy hogs. When these energy hogs were turned on during the wintertime, they noticed that they were leaking, which he referred to as gas leaks. So being that the ceiling was already being worked on for ITS, they thought no better time to tackle the HVAC problem as well, since the ceiling was already being replaced. With this being only one part of the library's HVAC system, they hope to get funding to replace the rest of the units throughout the library in the summertime.
What is being renovated and how long is construction projected to last?
According to Alicia Cabrera, who is the Capital Projects Manager at Cal Lutheran, and Nick Boudreau, who is Facilities and Infrastructure Project Manager, the current projects going on in the library are new HVAC systems being installed and remodeling to the ITS offices. Both projects are behind the circulation desk in the library. Cabrera said that this project was only supposed to be a small remodeling project for the outdated ITS offices, but it turned into a bigger problem when they found issues in the HVAC systems of the library. Boudreau said that this issue first became apparent in the summer when there were issues in the air conditioning systems. And when it came to wintertime, when the need for heating came about, they noticed more issues like gas leaks. The project is projected to be completed by the second week of March, and they hope to have ITS back into their offices by the first week of April, according to Cabrera.
Has the construction affected the operation of the library, the centers, and/or the IT department?
Construction in the Pearson Library has only affected the ITS area of the library in a major way, as they have been relocated to Amundsen Science Center. The Writing Center, Math Center, and Active Learning Classroom are all operating as normal with the exception of heating systems being down. However, the Writing Center does have their own systems, so they have not been affected.
With normal operation for the library and the centers within the library, how has construction impacted those using the building?
While the Pearson Library will operate as normal, including hours and all other operations in the Math Center, Writing Center, and Active Learning Classroom, many can notice the cold weather inside the library with heating systems being down. According to Brenda Solis of the Writing Center, she notices students wearing their warm clothing inside to deal with the cold temps. The library has also offered earplugs if construction gets noisy during study hours.
After Pearson Library, what else on campus is scheduled for a renovation?
Along with the ITS renovations, there are some new renovations that we can look forward to on campus. According to Alicia Cabrera and Nick Boudreau, Amundsen Science Center is the next for renovations. They plan to add a robotics classroom and go heavy on STEM classrooms, along with the new clean room that was just built in there. Nick Boudreau said that the clean room is pretty awesome.
Is there anything else listeners should know?
During the Pearson Library remodel, Brenda Solis, the Spanish-English bilingual specialist at the Writing Center, wants students to know that they are always welcome to use the Writing Center if it ever gets too cold in the main areas of the library. The new HVAC systems in the library are going to be much more efficient and better with this new project, according to Boudreau. Students should also know that the library remains normal with hours and operations.
Also joining us today is Kastenny, an Echo reporter, as well as the Echo's Latinx beat reporter. Last week, Kastenny wrote a features piece about the community cupboard in Samuelson Chapel. Here's Kastenny with more information about the community cupboard. What is the community cupboard and how does it help Cal Lutheran students?
So the community cupboard is just essentially a food pantry that all CLU students are allowed to use at all times of day since it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's located in the Samuelson Chapel, and they have a lot of different items in the food pantry. It's just essentially just a large room, and they have like tables and all that, so you can lounge there. But inside the pantry, they have just ramen, snacks, just chips, like a bunch of snacks that you could just eat that students actually enjoy eating. They have fresh produce, they have fruit, vegetables, sometimes they have meat, depending on if they have enough donations. And they also have a program where you can get free meal swipes. You just have to apply online, and all students can get the free meal swipes unless you already do have meal swipes that were actually paid for. But other than that, just anyone can get them.
What are the goals and the mission of the cupboard and those involved?
So the main goal of the community cupboard is to help students that feel that they need a little bit of extra support in obtaining food. So just essentially just helping the CLU community with food scarcity. The main person in charge of the community cupboard is Amanda Namba, along with volunteers from the chapel to help with the program.
How has the cupboard evolved since its inception?
The cupboard overall has grown in size. It's managed to grow from 1 pantry cabinet to 3 in the last couple of years. A refrigerator was added by a donation by the Associated Student Union.
Who has donated to the cupboard in the past, and how can people donate?
So one of the main contributors to the community cupboard is Sodexo. However, there has been a lot of staff at CLU who has donated throughout the years, and anyone can donate just by dropping off food or reaching out to Amanda to start a food drive or with any questions.
What do those involved hope for the future in relation to the cupboard?
One thing that the community cupboard strives for is to keep aiding the community anonymously. Right now, anyone can benefit from this resource. However, they strive to only help the people that actually really do need this resource. The organizers want to continue to see the cupboard grow, just bigger and better.
Is there anything else listeners should know about the community cupboard at Cal Lutheran?
To start off, I feel that students should know how much work and dedication is put into this program. The organizers truly put a lot of love into this, and it's definitely visible. They do this just so the members of the community can have food on their plate. The anonymous aspect of the cupboard will only continue if the community truly values this resource. Any student at CLU can use the cupboard by simply walking into the Samuelson Chapel and grabbing what they need. And in my belief, that's something truly special.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Look out for another podcast from us soon.